I am live and I'm going live with Nydia. I'm going to see if I can quickly get her. And today we are talking about one of my favorite topics. And it is all about goal setting and defining your vision. And let's see, we've got Nydia here. So if you are here, say hello in the comments and it is going to be amazing. So of the year where it's so good to start thinking about what is your vision for the next year. And yeah, hello Nydia.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here.
So nice to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
You look beautiful.
Oh,
I'm so excited for our live today. I don't know if it's just this time of the year, but I'm very much focusing on, you know, things like, what is my vision? What is my vision for the future? What is it that I want? How did I do this year? You know, yeah, and I don't know if it's just this time of year or yeah. So I would just first of all like to introduce you. If you can just or let you introduce yourself, just tell everyone quickly what you're doing, and then yeah, love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for the opportunity once more. My name is Nydia Harris. I'm a rapid transformational therapist and hypnotherapist and mindset coach. And basically what that all means is that I apply therapy at a subconscious level rather than going for numerous bi-weekly sessions. We really get to the root cause in 1 to 3 sessions only. It's done in the comfort of your own home or whatever quiet spot you have.
Oh.
All you need is a set of headphones and my voice just guides you through, and we find those little limiting core beliefs. We yank them out by the root, because we know if you don't get to the roots, that weed will grow back in your mind, right? So it's root cause, find out what the problem is, and shift those, just absolutely move them on. And yes, that's how it works.
So is it online?
Yep, most of my therapy, I do some one-on-ones in person, but mostly like 95% of my sessions are done online, as I say, in the comfort of your own home. Some people go to a hotel room and we do it from there, but it's still virtual, so it's anywhere in the world that is quiet and you have great Wi-Fi.
Wow, that's so interesting. And I love what you say about the limiting beliefs. And I feel like for me, a lot of the times, there are limiting beliefs that I don't know about it. Like for me, that is the scary thing. Especially since, you know, I am focused on that, but yeah, what about those that you are really not aware of? That is, it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in a place where you don't want to be, but you are not aware of it. How do you become aware of it?
So these are the sneaky ones, right? So neuroscience tells us that from the day you're born up until around 7, you're like a new tablet, right? And you're just downloading programs. And usually that's from your environment, wherever you grew up. Your parents, what they say programs you, right? That's where those like limiting beliefs about money, like money's the root of all evil and all those things. And you're like a little sponge and you're just absorbing it. Now, these limiting thoughts don't get upgraded. They just stay there. So you can be working really, really hard. And it's almost like, you know, when you watch a fly and it's trying to get out and it can see that beautiful blue sky outside and it just keeps bashing against that transparent limitation, which is the glass, right? And you're just working harder. This time I'm going to do it, put more effort. I'm going to study hard. I'm going to knuckle down. And it's like, and boom, there you go. And there's that glass. Boom, boom, boom. And that's what it does. So how do you know? You have to become an observer of your patterns. So if I can do a little exercise with us for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So everybody, okay, so let's take 2 deep breaths in and out, right? So in we go. And let it go. And one more in. And let it go. Right. Now, as you're feeling relaxed, I want you to, in your mind, just say your name 5 times, okay? Say it really loud in your mind. Amazing. Okay. Now, I want you to blink your eyes 5 times, but it's going to be 1, 1, 2, and we're going to do it together, okay? Up to 5. So let's go. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I want to ask you, who is taking breaths for you? Who's breathing for you now?
I'm breathing.
And who's thinking words in your mind now?
I'm thinking.
Okay, and everything else that we do is happening at a subconscious level, right? So we're only conscious of what we're doing 5% of the time, right? So the other 95% is happening back there in automation. It's still us, but we're not looking at that. So it makes sense to apply therapy on those things going on in the background. So that's why we use hypnotherapy to put you into this natural process of theta brainwave, which you go into anyway. It's nothing woo-woo. It's like before you go to bed, and just as you're waking up, you're in that theta brainwave anyway, right? Where the body's sort of like relaxed and the mind is super active. And that's what we do. We get back there to see, okay, but now Margriet wants to lose weight, but every time she loses 5 kilos, she takes herself to go get ice cream. Why is that?
But it's so true. Like, why is that?
That's a common one for all of us. We all know how to lose the weight, but the minute we do it, we start self-sabotaging.
Yes.
Now, for most of us, it's just bad habits, right? But for a certain percentage of us, maybe you've been abused or you've been raped or something horrible has happened, your weight loss is not safe. Because if you start to lose weight, you're going to get attention. Maybe it's unwanted attention from a male or female. And all of a sudden, this barrier of protection, this weight, holds you to protect yourself. And the minute you start losing it, your body's, no, 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 no. We're feeling like we've got a problem here. Pile it back on. Let's protect ourselves. So that's how the core beliefs get you.
So, in that terms, a lot of the times I feel like with success or certain level success, you know, a lot of the times people say we are scared of failure, but to me it feels more like we are afraid of success.
Absolutely.
Is it?
So what happens with that is that, you know, your mind has to kind of stretch to that. So a lot of the time, especially with the self-sabotage and these limiting beliefs of like, you know, I worked on a client, so fantastic. She's an executive producer, South African lady, and that same thing, that almost that glass ceiling of limitation on herself. And when you peel the layers back, somewhere along the line, there is a little voice saying, people like you don't have big jobs like that. This is a man's world. And it's all this programming. So, and also you're not good enough. I mean, at the core, and this is the, you know, this is the trump card here. At your core, we all have this, I'm not good enough somewhere along the line. And just observing yourself and going, look at that. It wasn't the job that's holding me back. It wasn't the technology holding me back. It wasn't my husband, my wife, my children. It's me. I'm the one who is blocking. And so you have to do the work to reprogram yourself. And that's why we also do a 21-day meditation afterwards, a recording. So you rewire the brain. I am good enough. I am worthy of financial wealth. So it's a reprogramming. It's you know, you upgrade your phone when it gets slow and fast. And sometimes we need to upgrade our mind.
So I want I want to talk about two things for everyone listening. Guys, if you've got a question, I'm just getting so many like, light bulbs and thinking, oh my word, like, you know, we really are our own biggest enemy, but not because of this, because of the fact that we don't do anything about it. And there's actually people that can help you. There's techniques that we can actually implement.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about, or talk to me about money. I think there are so many people out there that are struggling financially, and it's really something I'm fascinated about. Is the whole thing about money, and I'm very conscious of what people say in discussions around money, because I once read that like a billionaire wouldn't sit around a table with his family and discuss the price of the petrol going up or down. And now every time I'm in discussions and people start talking about this and that, then I'm like, this is so interesting, but this is how we are programmed. So if I am there today and I'm really feeling stuck without money, what is the first thing that I can do to actually get me on the path of prosperity?
So, okay, so the first thing is to recognize that there is a pattern, right? So I worked with a client, a guy, and he has built this amazing business, but every single time, like looking back in history, every time he gets somewhere, he tears it all down and something happens. And we started looking at this. And so we investigated the core beliefs. He comes from a very humble background. His parents worked very hard and he had it drilled into him. People like us, we don't have those kind of things, and rich people are selfish. And he's also quite religious. So now he's got this thing, this imprint. Rich people are selfish. People like us don't have those sorts of things. But in the meantime, as an adult man with a wife and children, he's doing his best just to prove that he's going to break through. But he can't do that because he will keep taking himself down. He will self-sabotage and he will do what it takes to bring himself down to the level of his belief about himself. So how do you do it? Number one, you realize that there is a pattern and that, like you said, people like myself can help. I do a therapy called Life Reset. So I call it Life Reset. That's my own thing, because sometimes you just wish you had this big red button and you could just say, okay, enough. Press that pause, have a look, see what's there, and start to build. So in his case, we went back to that. So we realized that was the problem. So then we started building. I am enough. I'm worthy of this. I'm amazing. I can trust my own decisions, and so forth. Then another client, when she looked back in her core beliefs and her limitations, it was her priest that was standing in front of the church, and he was saying, money is the root of all evil. And it stayed with her. And she is an entrepreneur, and she's a makeup artist, very, very good makeup artist, very talented. And she's trying really, really hard. But at the same time, when we spoke, she kept saying things like, oh, they're such bad people because, all they think about is money. And I kept thinking, you're trying to get this wealth, but you hate people like that. So you're going to have two opposing thoughts, and the mind can't have two opposing thoughts. I want it, I hate it. Okay, neutral.
Wow, it's incredible. And okay, so the first thing is, okay, recognizing that I don't have money in the bank. I struggle at the end of the month. I hear all these things, but how can it help me? And the reason why I'm asking you is because I can so resonate with people that say, I'm a single mom, I've got 3 kids, I'm really struggling, and it's actually, I was there. Okay, so I wasn't a single mom, but I had my 3 stepkids and my daughter that I had to look after, and it was so difficult. And I was just thinking to myself, people keep saying these things, but how?
How?
And
Yeah.
amazing, I'm so grateful for for getting out of that. And that was literally through my mind and not through anything else.
Absolutely.
So for
Well,
someone else sitting out there today thinking like, I am struggling, I don't have money, there's too much month at the end of my money, where do they start?
you see, there is a bit of a gift in having such hardships. And the gift is that all the small things that count for other people don't count anymore. You have to narrow your focus. It doesn't matter what shoes, what clothes, what schools, whatever. When you go into survival mode, there is this linear path, and all you have to do is one foot in front of the other. And you start by deciding how you want to show up in the world. How are you going to make it to your next paycheck? And everything else falls away. And then just doing the stuff that your body needs. You need good nutrition, you need good sleep, you need to do a mindful practice of some kind just to calm the cortisol. And you need to watch and stand guard at anything that you're taking in. Either you're reading, you're watching television, you listening to negative stuff. Switch off the news. Stop hanging out with poisonous people, because it's just going to, and start looking at, where do you want to go? Here's where you are. That's where you want to go. And everything else becomes so clear. If you have to feed your 2 kids and you have to survive, then don't sit and watch Netflix all day. It's not going to move the needle. So it's that focus. What do you want? If I had a magic wand, and this is the question we actually ask quite often, if I had a magic wand, what do you want? If I say to you, you might want an airplane, right? If I say that to someone in a position far behind you, they might just want to make that next paycheck. But knowing what you want kind of like clears away all the other stuff. And now you've got this path, and all you have to do is show up, eat properly, sleep properly, take the time to look after yourself, audit everything that is an input into your way of thinking, and also even audit your thoughts. The mind is always trying to give you what you want. So if you keep saying, oh, I'm so tired, I can't deal with this, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, what are you doing? You're programming yourself. So you get more
so
tired, So, and this is a great book that Marissa Peer, the lady who is the founder of RTT, she's just written another book, and it's called Tell Yourself a Better Lie. And it's so brilliant because, right?
So true.
Epiphany. Because we keep telling ourselves all of these lies. I'm too fat, I'm too tired, I'm too old, I'm too young. Those are also lies that you're programming. So flip the script and say, I've got phenomenal coping skills. I can handle this. I've handled so much worse. I've got all the energy I need because I prioritize my sleep. My children are the world to me, and one day I'll be in a better place. How does that feel?
Yeah. And I really like, I 100% believe in this. So back in the time where I was really at my lowest point, I actually had a vision board. So I want us to talk a little bit about setting your vision. And it is strange. I remember once my dad came into my office, and that was when we were back in Bloom, and I had all these things, and he actually read everything I said, and I thought to myself, oh, I must look so stupid now. But looking back, not one thing that was on my vision board did not actually realize. It realized maybe a little bit different in different ways, but and it actually shocked me. I think about a year ago, I realized, oh my word, but I haven't been doing a vision board, because at the time I was really I was desperate to get out of this situation. And
right? That was that linear path
that
you
was the linear
created.
path. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my word, but I need to do it again. So talk to us about maybe setting up our vision for 2025. How can we go about that?
Okay, brilliant. I love that. So on the mindset coaching side of things, if you don't choose, the universe will just happen. Life doesn't wait. You know, the time waits for no man. So you can be at the end of 2025 and be feeling the same way as you are, or you can create the linear path. I think you call it like the hackies that the farmers use to keep the little sheep in their place and go in the right direction. It's direction, right? So my one, and I'm just going to quickly share with you. So my vision board beginning of this year had a couple of different things in it. And one of the things was a little, I mean, this is so silly, you know, but I have this little diamond ring that my husband bought me. Now, when we got married, I was like, I don't need anything else. I just want the diamond. It's all good. I'm cool. I'm so modern, whatever. And as time went on, I changed my mind and I put it on my vision board and forgot all about it. Well, this year for my birthday, I get this ring and I'm thinking, how the hell did he even know? Okay, he gets to see the vision board, so that helped. But it happened. And the other day we bought a new car and I couldn't believe, I mean, these are the material things. There were so many other things. And I couldn't believe the car is the exact same car that I had put on the vision board 1 year ago in a different color, you know, and it's just these little things happen all the time in business. And so in other words, we need to choose. That is the biggest thing. So have some goals which are out there and you think, how on earth will that ever happen? Have some goals that give you direction so that you can break it down into little steps and you know which way you're going to go. Especially now with social media, as you know, there's so many people telling you to do stuff. Your attention is being pulled in 50 different directions. And today you want to be a lifestyle guru. The next day you want to go travel and do a blog. And then the next day you want to be a fitness fanatic and all these things. And especially your following is entrepreneurs, mostly. What do you want? You know, that's the one question that's very difficult for people to answer. They come to therapy with a laundry list of all the stuff they don't want. So then I go, okay, now I know you don't want this, 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 this. What do you want? And do you know how difficult it is for people? So if you don't know what you want, how is God, the universe, yourself supposed to give it to you? You know? And so that also just reminds me of John Kehoe. He says things like this: weak and scattered thoughts give you weak and scattered results. Focused and directional thoughts give you focused and directional results. And that's where you start. What do you want? Reverse engineer what you want. Put some big goals, some little goals, some exciting goals, and then just break it down to how you want to feel about yourself. That's very, very important because, of course, you can amass wealth, but if you don't love yourself and you don't think you're good enough and you don't have the love of your immediate family or you're hated by everyone, you're not going to hold on to that. It's going to feel empty. So first you've got to make right with yourself. What's necessary? Do you need to lose a bit of weight? Do you need to put on a bit of weight? Do you need to go for the job promotion? Do you need to make something that you can sell? Whatever it is. So bite-sized little goals. How do you want your children, your loved ones, your friends to see you? How do you want to connect? Do you want to, for me, it is now, I want to get the word out of what I do. I want to go on stage. Well, for that, I've got to do very uncomfortable things. I've got to tell myself a better lie and say, okay, I want to do that. That was one of the things on my vision board. I wanted to be on a podcast. I've done that. Now I've got to do it again and again and again and again, you know, because I put it on there, it made it feel like it's achievable. It's not such a big jump.
I feel like it's just So for me, what I realized, because I was thinking like, how is this possible? So how did this happen? Like, because I promise you, everything that was on my vision board actually happened.
Yeah, it's like that.
So I had a image of Rulene Strauss on my vision board, but when she was pregnant with her first son, because I really admired this woman and I thought she was amazing. And I was like, you know, I would love to work with her one day. And that was probably 2017. 2022, I worked with her. And I was just like, or 2023, I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then I back engineered why this worked. And I was thinking to myself that because I put it up, I started telling myself, okay, what do these people talk about? Who do they surround themselves with? Like, when I had thoughts, I would say, is this the kind of thoughts that she would have?
Yes.
And it just reminded me constantly. And I can also remember when I was working and I'm struggling and I just look up and I'm like, okay, I remember now why I'm working again. I'm working on myself. I'm stepping into a better version of me. And for me now, thinking about, because I can get very like down and depressed. And the only thing that gets me up is if I imagine the future version of me.
Yes.
Future version, this is why I'm getting up. This is why, you know, I'm actually doing this, because I am becoming a more powerful me. And for me, that is something that really drives me, that helps me.
You know, the thing is, it's not to think that, oh, I'm having a negative thought, this toxic positivity quickly, oh, I mustn't have a negative thought. You know, it's nothing like that. It's saying, okay, I see your negative thoughts, but I also am in command of my thoughts. I can move there. And then setting about making habits, right? So first you make your habits, and then your habits will carry you, right? So like going to gym every day. So I know that that's my best time to go to gym. First thing in the morning. Because if I don't do it, there are hundreds of other ways I can spend the time and then go, oh, well, you know, and I'll be in my gym clothes all day and then get into the shower and go to bed, you know. It's too easy. So making the habit of get up, get in your car, go to gym.
Don't think about it. Don't give yourself the option to think about it. Just do it.
So you create that habit, and then the habit creates you, because you're going to get up one day and go, oh, the world sucks. I hate everything. I hate myself. I hate my clothes, blah, 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 blah. But now you've got this little action plan and you just go and do your gym and then you feel a bit better. So that is, you can do that with your mind power too. Create your habits and then your habits will create you. So when you see yourself getting down in the depths of depravity, instead of staying there, you go, okay, cool. Let me write this in my journal and get it out of my head. And then go, okay, I've had my 15 minutes of madness. And now your good habits take you again. And then you go, okay, what's for work today? What am I going to cook? How can I spend quality time with my husband, my children, my friends? What do I like to do? Oh, let me go walk on the beach. Let me paint something, draw something, listen to music. And also it's like just being the observer, knowing it's coming. We're going to have sad moments. There's no happiness without sadness. We know this. And also just riding that wave. Like, what is this teaching me? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I here again? What is the lesson? And then saying, okay, I'll allow myself to wallow for a little bit. And then you build a bridge and you move forward. You know?
Wow. That's so good, because I feel like we overcomplicate things so much, because it's as simple as that. And it's literally about, it comes down to something you said in the beginning, and it's choosing. It's taking responsibility for the choice. And what I realized in my life, when I was working for a boss and I was feeling very unhappy and I was moaning about my boss, and then I thought to myself, but the reason why I'm here is because of choices I made. And I wanted to say I don't have a choice because I've got kids to feed and I have to do this. But I didn't have, I mean that was choices. I didn't have to do it. You know, I could do something else completely. And for me, that was a big shift, understanding that this is actually what I chose for my life. So if I'm here and I'm not happy with what I chose, I have to go and see, why did I make these choices? A lot of them are on autopilot. And what is the choice I want to make for the future? And for me, that is a continuous growth journey. Always thinking about, is this, how am I going to feel? I was actually this morning, you know, because a lot of the time, like pleasing people, or I'm very one that I always just want to say yes and let's do this. And then I was thinking to myself, no, I'm not going to do this. And because why am I saying yes? I actually don't want to do this. And just being cautious of that, and really seeing, okay, I actually have a choice. I do not have to say yes. I can say no. I can have boundaries, and that is also okay. And I also don't have to explain why.
No, so, exactly. And if I had to say to you now, right, put yourself in that space where you were working for a boss, had to work, bringing the money for your children, blah, 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 and you've got all of this negativity, and you had to come to me and I had to say to you, now you've told me, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And then I say, okay, what do you want?
So true. Right? Because at the time, that is something I wouldn't have known, because I was so focused on what I didn't want.
The program.
And then when I started focusing on, okay, if this makes me sad, what would make me happy? And it's very true that you say people don't know what they want, because what I thought I want, because I actually had a perfect, this is like, I thought I wanted that, but I didn't want that.
Yeah, but we change our minds.
Yeah, and really understanding, but what is it that I truly want?
Yes.
And why did I think that is what I want? Because I was believing other lies, you know?
Exactly. And sometimes we just, you know, you get so cross with yourself, because it's like, you actually realize you got everything you wanted, but now you've changed your mind. And it's that way people get stuck. They get stuck in this, but I'm not happy. I've got the husband tick, I've got the children tick, I've got the career tick, but I'm not happy. Okay, that's all right. It's not about beating yourself up and staying in that negativity. It's going, I created that with my mindset that was then, which means I'm liberated and free to choose again. And when I choose again, I will create in that direction, and it empowers you straight away. You go, okay, well, I'm working 3 jobs right now because I've chosen to work 3 jobs in order to get me to that next place. Now you're empowered with your choices, not I've got to work 3 jobs because, right? It's a very different energy, and your body's all about energy. You're either giving yourself energy to do something, or you're depleting that. It's either negative chemicals, cortisol, dis-ease, or empowering, rejuvenating thoughts, creates feelings, and your body, it's all, you know, what you think about, you bring about, simply put.
So I'm very much now, because we are at the end of the year, and you know, like with all the moms at school, you always stand there, you make small talk about this, talk about that. And the one thing everyone says is, oh, cannot believe it's end of the year. Life is so hectic. You know, this is literally, and I would just stand and tell myself, because it's obviously
Don't let it in.
sort of like, it's this awkward silence, like, yeah, it's something to talk about, you know. But I'm thinking to myself, do not do that. Don't go.
Don't add fuel.
The subject. Find something else to talk about. Don't go down that route, because that, it's so funny. Like everywhere you go, everyone you see this time of the year, oh, it's so hectic. Oh, this and that. And it's so, it's so interesting.
If you go into the world looking for negative things, I mean, there's plenty. You know, you can just go to the news. You can just go to any negative. You're going to find evidence of negativity everywhere, you know. But if you change it, like you've already changed the way you see things, you now know that you've got this guard, this boundary around you. I don't want to be pulled down into this negativity stuff. And now you can start to cherry pick all the good stuff. So you're like, oh, end of the year, it's nearly holiday. We're going to squeeze the last little bit out of the year. And it's all this excitement. And, you know, now your way of thinking is also impacting those around you, you know,
That's
and then
so
you start
true. Yeah.
calling those type of people, because you're not sitting skinnering and being horrible. You're now going, geez, how can we do this? How can we do that? And then a rising tide lifts all ships. And so you can all lift each other up.
That's so beautiful. I think we're going to end it with that. A rising tide lifts all ships. Thank you so much, Nydia. So if people want to make use of your services, how do they contact you?
They can just phone me. Go onto my Instagram, Nydia Harris Hypnotherapy. They can just DM me. My number is on there. You know, it's easy to find me. Just go onto NydiaHarris.com or Nydia Harris Hypnotherapy on Instagram.
Wow, this was so insightful. I actually made a whole lot of notes.
Oh, thank you so much for the time.
Excited. Yeah, I'm so excited we got to talk about this. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing just to realize that you don't have to be stuck in where you are. If you are unhappy, it's a choice. If you are unhappy, it's actually a choice. And knowing that it's a choice to be happy or unhappy is, I think, the most liberating thing. Yeah, so thank you so much, Nydia.
Thank you so much. And we haven't said anything about your beautiful course. So can I have 2 seconds to just say how wonderful it's been? So I have always been doing social media for years and years and years. So I'm quite happy and comfortable with being in front of the camera and doing all the stuff. But what I must say about your course is that it's like 3 layers, right? So if you're right at the beginning, you feel comfortable enough to ask the questions, and there's always help for you. And of course, the guided course is so helpful. If you're in the middle, there's plenty to learn going upwards. And what I really got out of it is the background stuff. It's the funnels and the marketing talk and the landing pages. And you pushed me to do a webinar, which I converted into money, which is what we want.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's just that background stuff that's, you know, when you do a social media course, it's all about front end and getting your product out there, getting your face out there. But you guys, you help us to do the background stuff, the running of the Facebook ads. I mean, just that has been a game changer for me. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. It's great. And I'm so excited. And I'm so excited now that you're saying you enjoy the funnels, because I actually are going to do much more in that direction next year. I'm super excited. So yeah. Thank you so much, Nydia.
Thank you. You have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye-bye.